Success in marriage does not come merely through finding the right mate, but through being the right mate. That quote is from Barnett R. Brickner. I also take this quote: a long marriage is two people trying to dance a duet and two solos at the same time. I take that quote from Anne Taylor Fleming. Let me also take this quote: more marriages might survive if partners realize that sometimes the better comes after the worse. That's from Doug Larson. And on this note, I welcome you again to an exciting moment of BLISS TALK on a Backstage Story Show on Nollywood Radio France. I hope you've been enjoying BLISS TALK, and I also believe that you've been calling Dr. Mrs. Tonia Smart for your questions and inquiries and other issues that pertain to your marriage or relationship. This is BLISS TALK. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
For an awesome entertainment and adventure.
Education erases ignorance.
Information is power.
Always log on www.BackstageStory.tv.
Get movie auditions.
Watch and listen to exclusive interviews and movies.
Get useful tips on health and other issues.
I am Patience Idoku.
I am Precious Iwuchukwu.
I am Millicent Aguya in Lagos, Nigeria.
And I am Demola Sonyaolu. Together, we will give you a memorable and wholesome experience to keep you coming back. In collaboration with other global media brands:
Nollywood Broadcasting Service, France.
Nollywood Spotlight, USA.
Soulful Mind Media, USA.
Ojutole and Shoki Shombolo online magazines.
We will take you around the world in a matter of seconds. www.BackstageStory.tv.
Entertainment,
education,
information.
Always log on to www.BackstageStory.tv.
Joke Silva, an actress and producer. I am on the Backstage Story Show with Demola on Nollywood Radio France.
This is still BLISS TALK on the Backstage Story Show, and as usual, I have with me in the studio Dr. Mrs. Tonia Smart. Tonia, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It's nice to be here once again with you, Demola.
All right. I hope you had a blissful time at home.
Yes, I did.
As usual. All right, Dr. Mrs. Tonia, for those that do not remember her, she's a marriage counselor. She is a chemist. She had her first degree from the University of Lagos, where she bagged a BSc in chemistry. She also had a master's in chemistry. She was the vice president of the University of Lagos Science Students Association and the all chairperson of Moremi Hall. For people that studied in the University of Lagos, you may know her. She was a member of the University of Lagos Student Union during the 1984-85 session. She also went to obtain her MBA in management from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, in the year 2000, and a doctorate degree in counseling psychology from Evangel University, Monroe, USA, 2007. She is a seasoned professional insurer and pension administrator and has bagged the fellowship status of both the Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, FCIIN, and Certified Pension Institute of Nigeria, FCIP. And she's also an active member in both institutes till date. Tonia has delivered several papers on varied topics in seminars and conferences. It's nice to have you here, Tonia.
Thank you very much, Demola.
And on this episode of BLISS TALK on the Backstage Story Show on Nollywood Radio France, we'll be talking about the keys to success in marriage. And those keys include love, support, and respect. The keys to success in marriage. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this short break.
I am Zach Oji, an actor, filmmaker, and media consultant from Nigeria. And I'm on the Backstage Story Show with Demola.
Make your marriage work. Make your marriage fun. Make your marriage exciting. Enjoy endless marital bliss. Let us help you rekindle the fire of love. Join me and Tonia Smart on BLISS TALK as we explore the secrets to endless marital bliss on BLISS TALK on the Backstage Story Show on your award-winning media channel, Nollywood Radio France, on Nollywood Broadcasting Service. BLISS TALK, reigniting the flame of love.
For an awesome entertainment and adventure.
Education erases ignorance.
Information is power.
Always log on www.BackstageStory.tv.
Get movie auditions.
Watch and listen to exclusive interviews and movies.
Get useful tips on health and other issues.
I am Patience Idoku.
I am Precious Iwuchukwu.
I am Millicent Aguya in Lagos, Nigeria.
And I am Demola Sonyaolu. Together, we will give you a memorable and wholesome experience to keep you coming back. In collaboration with other global media brands,
Nollywood Broadcasting Service, France.
Nollywood Spotlight, USA.
Soulful Mind Media, USA.
Ojutole and Shoki Shombolo online magazines.
We will take you around the world in a matter of seconds. www.BackstageStory.tv.
Entertainment,
education,
information.
Always log on to www.BackstageStory.tv. BLISS TALK. You are still on BLISS TALK on the Backstage Story Show on Nollywood Radio France. I'll read a short prologue about love, support, and respect. Then we will go on from there. Love is a variety of different feelings, states, and attitudes that ranges from interpersonal affection, like I love my mother, to pleasure, like I love that meal. It can refer to an emotion of a strong attraction and personal attachment. It can also be a virtue representing human kindness, compassion, and affection. The unselfish, loyal, and benevolent concern of the good of another. It may also describe compassionate and affectionate actions towards other humans, oneself, or animals. That's the definition of love as called from Wikipedia. Now, let me take this from support. Support means to bear the weight of, especially from below, or to hold in a position so as to keep from falling, sinking, or slipping. To be capable of bearing, withstand, something that is too weak. All right? To keep from weakening or failing. To strengthen, to provide for or maintain by supplying with money or necessities, to furnish corroborating evidence for, like new facts supporting a story, to aid the cause, to argue in favor of, and to endure or tolerate. I have to say all these definitions so that you will have a background of what we'll be talking about today, the keys to success in marriage. And let me take this for respect. Respect is a positive feeling of esteem or deference for a person or other entity, such as a nation or a religion, and also specific actions and conduct representative of that esteem. Respect can be a specific feeling of regard for the actual qualities of the one respected. And on that note, I welcome Dr. Mrs. Tonia once again to this exciting episode of BLISS TALK on the Backstage Story Show on Nollywood Radio France.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
All right. Now, Tonia, we're talking about keys to success in marriage. Before we zero in on those keys, success in marriage, we've talked about courtship, we've talked about dating and choice of a partner. What are the keys? What are the major keys to success in the marriage?
Well, first is having built a good courtship platform, and then of course you're talking about now getting married to each other to live the rest of your life as husband and wife. The keys to success in marriage are so varied, because there's no one human being that is perfect or knows all. And remember again, in coming together in marriage, you're coming from various backgrounds, various cultures, various beliefs, upbringing and all of that. And so you need to understand each person's areas of strengths and weaknesses. And there is no person you can know in a month or two. And so knowing your partner is actually a lifelong thing. And so what is a key? A key is important for you to gain rightful entry. For instance, if you want to get into your house, if you put your car key into the door key hole, it's not going to open because it's the wrong key that you're putting in there. So there is a right key. And for marriage, there are right keys that have to be applied for marriage to be enjoyed. And so the key to marriage would be love, trust, respect, submission, understanding, appreciating one another, sex, forgiveness, finance, good homekeeping with good food, good cooking, knowing how to entertain guests.
Sorry to cut you short, but when you talk about food, it stirs my mind because
yes, that's why
I love good food. Not just food, I love good
cooking.
Anyway,
because you need to invest. You must be hospitable. You must know how to entertain both friends and family. And then, of course, you must care for your immediate family members. So all these keys wrapped up in what is the master key. And the master key is love. The master key is love, because love can conquer every other thing. Even if the food is not good, because of love, you would eat it. Like a story I once read of a man who, the wife comes from work on a very busy day and still, because of love for him, says, I would make you toast for dinner. And most of the time she's tired, and so the toast gets burned. And the man will say, oh, I love this toast. You did it so well. And the young boy who was watching says, Dad, why do you always say that to Mom when the toast is burnt? And he says, because I love her. And even if it's burnt, I understand. And I'm able to take it. So love would conquer all of those issues, yes.
All right. Now, you mentioned a wide range of some of these keys. And is it very easy, or is it, is it convenient? Do you think every marriage can have all this?
Yes. What you have would be in variations, just like you have 100%. So you're going to have a bit of each, but you definitely must have all of these keys. The key to your sitting room in architecture, because I did a bit of building, your sitting room is usually the biggest room in the house. Your store or your box room is the smallest, but they all have different keys. So all you need to do is know which parts you need to apply, to get the total marriage engine going, because all of these have their own lubrication. If you put a car on the road, if you don't change the engine oil after some time, it would give you a notice on the dashboard. If you ignore it, that is when you begin to have marital issues. If you ignore it and you don't resolve it and you don't change the engine oil, the engine is going to knock. And when it knocks is when people begin to say, I can't continue, I need out. And that's when the divorce comes in. So the keys are applied in various stages depending on what is peculiar to your needs and to your situation.
So what you're saying in essence is each of those elements you've mentioned are like spices. You need to have at least a little quantity of this and a little quantity of that.
That's right.
To make sure. Okay.
I am Adetokunbo Adeyinka Azubike, an actor, filmmaker, producer, also the chairman Association of Movie Producer, Plateau State Chapter. I am on the Backstage Story Show with Demola Sonyaolu.
For an awesome entertainment and adventure.
Education erases ignorance.
Information is power.
Always log on www.BackstageStory.tv.
Get movie auditions.
Watch and listen to exclusive interviews and movies.
Get useful tips on health and other issues.
I am Patience Idoku.
I am Precious Iwuchukwu.
I am Millicent Aguya in Lagos, Nigeria.
And I am Demola Sonyaolu. Together, we will give you a memorable and wholesome experience to keep you coming back. in collaboration with other global media brands.
Nollywood Broadcasting Service, France.
Nollywood Spotlight, USA.
Soulful Mind Media, USA.
Ojutole and Shoki Shombolo online magazines.
We will take you around the world in a matter of seconds. www.backstagestory.tv.
Entertainment,
Education,
Information.
always log on to www.backstagestory.tv.
Okay, now we're going to be zeroing in on love, support, and respect. What is love in marriage?
Love is everything in marriage. It's the foundation, it's the master key. Love is understanding your partner, what makes your partner to tick, and what makes your partner not to tick. And so with love, you'll be able to understand, why is my partner doing this to me? Or why is my partner behaving in this way? So when you're able to understand that, then you have provided at least an element of solution to what that issue is.
Now, love, to some people, love is an emotional state of mind rather than the action. From what you're saying, you're talking about love being the expression. Now, love as an emotion in marriage and love as expression, how do they merge?
Love as an expression is something that you do every day. You need to express your love. They say that women are moved by what they hear. So you need to assure your spouse, your wife, that you love her, and by saying it. And for a man, it's by what he sees. So let him see that you love him. Let him see that you care about him. Let him see that he's important in your life. And then tell her that she's special. Tell her she's nice. And even when she's not nice, tell her in a nice way as well.
Tell her in a nice way that she's not nice.
Yes. because it's not just shout it down or drum it down that will make her to understand that. Okay. But you can say it in a way that it would be like, oh, but the main thing is that you've passed the message across.
All right, love, respect, and support. Now, still talking about love. When you talk about love, from courtship to marriage, how do we groom that love? Because some people are like arranged marriage. Let's talk from there. Now, arranged marriage where people don't love each other naturally. Some of them eventually fall in love and love each other to the end. Some don't even love each other. They don't tolerate, because love and tolerance, what is the balance between those two? Because when you love someone, you should be able to tolerate some of their weaknesses.
And that's why I said love would cover
all things.
All things. And that's why you put the word correctly, tolerance. If you're loving the person, then you're going to be tolerating the person as well. So it's a balance to the love and the tolerance. Because if you love the person and you cannot tolerate the person, then you're sitting on gunpowder because it's going to burst. So you're loving the person doesn't mean the person doesn't have weaknesses. And that's where the tolerance comes in. You can tolerate those weaknesses. And for me, tolerating those weaknesses, if there are things that are key to you, then you should be able to look for a better way to avoid those occurrences rather than keeping them on your tolerance level. Because sometimes then you stretch your tolerance level, and that's where you begin to have verbal conflicts. So if something is hurting, seek for a solution. It might just be something simple. For instance, there was a story that I always say to my counselors, look for the solution rather than thinking of it as a big issue. Simple things like toothpaste can cause friction. Maybe you're from a family of 2, 3 where, you have to press the toothpaste from the bottom, and so you do everything nice and proper. And you're from a large family like me, we're 7, and not talk of cousins and everybody. And you just pick the toothpaste, press it, and you're on the go. And simple things like that have caused frictions. And I'm like, there's a standing toothpaste which you have to press at the top. So press at the top. If your wife is not the organized type, or your husband is not the organized type, he puts his shoes here, he puts his socks there, fine. Get a nice box. Pick his socks and put them there. have a nice shoe rack, put his shoes there. For the first few times, like, change is not something that is easily embraced. You might not get to do it, but later I just say, okay, it makes sense to put the shoes in the rack, and then things will fall in line. But if you're tolerating it without doing anything and saying, because I love him, so I'm just going to, there is a time which that tolerance level is going to be stretched beyond when you can really, accept it, and that's, what
now,
leads to conflict.
Still talking about tolerance, if you've been tolerating someone for like 10 years on a particular issue, and you've condoned that particular issue for that long period, and it keeps reoccurring, because I believe love should be mutual. If I'm trying to fit into your groove, then you should be able to also try to fit into my mesh.
Right.
It shouldn't be lopsided. So,
yes.
Tolerance and marriage, it has a certain degree. Like you said, it gets to a limit, and then everybody flares up. What do you think tolerance can last forever?
Yes.
Sure.
As long as you don't take it to the limit all the time. And that's why I said there's a limit to which you can tolerate. And that's why you see some people, their tolerance level is very small, and some is very elastic. But don't make it too elastic that even if you take an elastic, for instance, if you stretch it, after some time, it's no longer elastic. Why? Because it's now a rope, because you've pulled it beyond. So don't get pulled beyond that elasticity. And that's why you see sometimes you begin to wonder, somebody's been married for 25, 30 years and they divorce. And then I ask myself, what could have gone wrong? You've tolerated the first decade, the second one, the third one, you're halfway in the fourth one. And then the differences cannot be reconciled. Why? Because you stretch that tolerance level thinking that you can continue, and then it's now a rope, and it's now roping you, and you're not able to understand what is happening anymore.
All right, this is BLISS TALK on the Backstage Story Show on Nollywood Radio France, and I hope you are enjoying yourself with Tonia. Tonia is our marriage counselor, and she's been expounding on the topic titled The Keys to Success in Marriage. We're talking about love, support, and respect. Now, still love in marriage. Some people some people believe that once I'm married to you, I'm married to you. Your family comes in, they are third parties. 2 is company, 3 is crowd. What do you have to say about that?
Well, they don't understand that. And when we talk about family matters, when you marry a person, you're not just marrying a person in this side of the world, and in any way, even for the world, because you came from a family, except if you are an only child. And even at that, you would have cousins and, other members of the extended family. So loving is not just your spouse, but everybody that your spouse is connected with. So understanding that, yes, 2 is company, 3 is crowd, but 2 is company, 3 is awesome. That's what I say. 2 is company, 3 is awesome. Why? Because you have a third party that can keep you joyfully happy. So there would be friction because, no person is perfect, I keep saying. But how do you handle that is very important. So you must be able to understand that, yes, you want to stay with your spouse, you want to spend time with your spouse, but those other people, the third party now, are not enemies. And so if they're not enemies, then you need to be able to strike a balance in your relationship with them.
All right. Now, we will still talk about this question I'm about to raise in the issue of in-laws. But do you subscribe to the school of thought that believes that when 2 people marry, every other person should give them room to blossom? There is some cultures in Nigeria, once a man marries a woman, then family members will just move in with the wife, and then the man has to take responsibility, not just for the wife, but for every other member of the extended family. Do you subscribe to the school of thought that says that when a man marries, they should be given room to understand each other before anybody comes into the marriage?
Well, that is yes and no.
Okay.
Yes, if they understand that they need to give the couple some time.
Okay.
And no, because sometimes you need to look at your peculiarities. Because maybe he's the one who is coming, or usually maybe he's the firstborn, and the younger siblings need a place to stay, and all of that. So you must be able to understand. I have been married, like I said, for 2 decades plus. I think I can count on my one hand fingers how many years, in the 20 years I've actually stayed out alone with my husband, even from the earlier years. We always have friends or people, they would come and go. Yes. So you need to understand that the union, if you have the space to understand yourselves, is better. But my own no is that you don't marry your wife in your family house, because that would just be, putting her on the spotlight.
Oh, in your family house, we mean staying in the family house?
Yes, with your parents and everybody. And your wife is there with you, and you have an apartment then, because you need time to understand yourselves. You need time to discover yourselves in marriage. In courtship, we talked about getting to know the right things, understanding yourselves, but understanding is a lifelong thing. So you need that first few months to understand each other, make your mistakes, and learn quickly, because that's another thing. The mistakes will come, because marriage is not a bed of roses. I always tell my counselors that if you're thinking that marriage is a bed of roses, or if anybody says that, tell the person that I say that the person is a liar, because for every rose there are thorns. But when you want to cut the rose, you need to understand how you move your fingers around it so that the thorns don't prick your fingers. So, yes, it's a lovely thing to be married, but it also comes with its own challenges as well. So, staying with your partner alone, if the environment permits, it's good. And having people stay with you, there is no big deal. There is no big deal.
All right, this is still Bliss Talk on the Backstage Story Show on Nollywood Radio France. And you've been listening to the voice of Dr. Mrs. Tonia Smart. She has been expounding on the topic titled, The Keys to Success in Marriage. And we've been talking about love. Don't go anywhere. We'll go to the next subsection of this exciting topic after this short break. Make your marriage work. Make your marriage fun. Make your marriage exciting. Enjoy endless marital bliss. Let us help you rekindle the fire of love. Join me and Tonia Smart on Bliss Talk as we explore the secrets to endless marital bliss on Bliss Talk on the Backstage Story Show on your award-winning media channel, Nollywood Radio France, on Nollywood Broadcasting Service. Bliss Talk, reigniting the flame of love.
Olu Jacobs. I am on the Backstage Story Show with Demola.
Still on Backstage Story Show on Bliss Talk. Now, support. I think those are the three major keys. Now, let's talk about support. When you say support in the context of Africa, the man is the breadwinner, is the one that fends for the family and all that. Some people believe that if a woman is not working or doing anything profitable to support the husband, that is what the school of thought believe, that she becomes a liability. Now, support in marriage. What's your definition of support in marriage?
Support in marriage is doing the right thing at the right time, all the time. If the man is the breadwinner, there is absolutely nothing wrong in him having his wife as a home keeper. Because if you don't keep the home really nice, then all the effort might be in futility. Because if the woman is not putting the home front together, at the end of the day, the man might just burn out, because if he comes home and the home is not peaceful, after a hard day's job where he needs to relax and unwind with his spouse, and everything is going crazy at home, he's not going to want to come home. And when he comes home, he's not going to be fulfilled. And if he's not fulfilled, he has his own mental stress, which medically would, lead to other things. So he needs the home to be peaceful. And there's nothing wrong for a woman to work, as long as you both understand the game. If she's working, then she needs to also be able to balance work and home.
All right. Support. Still talking about support. Now, in a situation where a breadwinner has challenge with his job, and probably the wife is working too, and she at that point when the job is lost, the wife has to do some of the things that the husband has been doing. We talked about tolerance in love. Some women can't tolerate this. They want the man to get a job in a jiffy, probably because some of their own salary they use to buy cosmetics and makeups and things like that. So when you talk of support and there are issues with job, the breadwinner loses his job, is it good for a woman to actually take over that role, or just say, oh, my husband must get a job first, I can't take up this role? In support, would you say it is necessary to actually take up those roles as a when due and help the man at that point?
For the few times I've had to speak on when a man loses his job, I rather take it from the angle of the exception where a woman earns more than a man. It takes a lot for a woman to be submissive. And when we talk about submission, we're going to look at that in details. Because money has its own force. And that's why...
Or spirit, would you say?
Well, if you say it's a spirit, I'll say
money
it's
has its own
force.
Spirit. Okay.
Because if you're able to control it, and if money is not controlling you, then you'll be able to understand that money is only to be used for the things
then you've
that you
overcome
want.
Its force. You've overcome its force on you. Okay.
So it's not pushing you, it's not dictating to you. Because most of the time, when I talk to people and they're like, if the man loses his job, the woman becomes something else. She becomes uncontrollable. She doesn't submit because she feels I'm the one paying the bills. I have seen cases of women who pay the house rent, pay the school fees. It's not the norm. But when it happens, the love again and the tolerance, you must be able to understand. And it takes a woman who is actually ready for that marriage to work at that point in time to be able to stay sane.
To stay sane.
That's right. Because the money is going to be speaking to you like, I'm the master. But you need to tell the money that you're not my master, because I need to use you and give up my cosmetics, give up my gold, give up my designer bags, give up my designer dresses and all of that. So once you're able to speak to money and say, you don't control me, then you have conquered with that submission. Because why? Your husband is going to see you in a different light, that it's not when he had the money, because you didn't marry him for the money, but you married him for his personality, for who he is. So once you're able to control money and use it for what it's supposed to be used for, it doesn't matter whether he's out of job, or it doesn't matter if you're earning more than him. Why? Because you're now dictating how the money will be used without spreading. I must emphasize that, without spreading, because some women will say to 1,001 people who care to know, don't you know I'm the breadwinner in this house? I'm the one doing this. And you put shame
should be kept confident
on the face of the man. He should be able to, even if you're the one spending the money in his pockets, it's between the two of you, and it's not any third party's business. But when you go spread the word, then you're not giving respect to the man.
All right. The one of the definition of support is to act in a secondary or subordinate role to a leading person. Now, we talked about losing a job. Now, what of in the case when a man fails in health? This is not losing a job, but because he has a failing health, his job has to be called off. Someone has to take his place in his job, and this time it's not because he lost his job. It's not because he was not able to fend for the family. It's now health issues. How supportive should a woman be in that situation?
You should be supportive in any situation. Just like the man will say, I need my wife to support me. The wife also needs the woman to support. I have seen cases of men being terminally ill, and the support from the wife was enormous. And I have seen men who were terminally ill, and the wife was there for them, and vice versa. So again, everything boils down to the fundamentals, which is love. You're looking at that person that, I love this person, and so everything about that person is me. Because marriage is actually a union of your body, your soul, and your spirit. So you're not looking at the individual now as an individual. You're looking at the individual as another part of me. And I'm not complete until this person is okay as well. So with love, you're able to take care of that person and help in the healing process as well.
All right, now this is still BLISS TALK on the Backstage Story Show on Nollywood Radio France. I will be talking about the keys to success in marriage, zeroing in on the love, support, and respect, and some other keys. Now, you mentioned something about trust. Now, I've had an issue. A friend of mine came up to me and says, my wife was like this before we married, and then she stopped. And when we got married, a situation came up, and she went back to her vomit, as it were, doing those things that she felt, that he felt he could trust her for not doing anymore. In that kind of situation, how should a man handle it?
First, I come back to my chemistry days. For every action, there is a reaction. And if you look deep down, people tend to scratch the surface. And again, it takes me to the issue of elasticity. Okay. It didn't start overnight. So something made it to start. So you need to go to the roots. If you want to take down a tree, if you cut it from the top, it's not going to, you just shed off the branches, it's still standing. Okay. You cut it from the trunk, it's still there. But if you take it out from the roots, so you need to first of all go and see what is the roots. And people say you get married, and usually for women, that they get married and they are nice, they are very loving, and then after some time they change. Find out the company that they're now keeping. Because the company you keep matters a lot. Okay. The things you hear, like I keep saying, women is more by what they hear. So who is speaking to your wife's ears? Who are her confidants? Those things are important, because if she hears the wrong thing, then she's going to want to practice the wrong thing. So why she went back to the vomit is not a one-day thing. There is something that went fundamentally wrong, that if she could stay away and then she's going back, then something needs to have happened, or something would have happened that made her to go back. So we now need to trace that and then find out where, the issue. And that comes to the issue of communicating. Because if you go and find out, communication broke down, and that's why there's a U-turn to go where I'm coming from. If you're walking on a road, you're going forward. If you're making a detour, it's either you've come to a jam or you're towing the wrong path in the beginning. So you need to make a detour. But if you're going on the straight road and you're going to your target, then you keep moving, because you haven't reached where you're going to yet.
Make your marriage work. Make your marriage fun. Make your marriage exciting. Enjoy endless marital bliss. Let us help you rekindle the fire of love. Join me and Tonia Smart on BLISS TALK as we explore the secrets to endless marital bliss on BLISS TALK on the Backstage Story Show on your award-winning media channel, Nollywood Radio France, on Nollywood Broadcasting Service. BLISS TALK, reigniting the flame of love.
For an awesome entertainment and adventure.
Education erases ignorance.
Information is power.
Always log on www.BackstageStory.tv.
Get movie auditions.
Watch and listen to exclusive interviews and movies.
Get useful tips on health and other issues.
I am Patience Idoku.
I am Precious Iwuchukwu.
I am Millicent Aguya in Lagos, Nigeria.
And I am Demola Sonyaolu. Together, we will give you a memorable and wholesome experience to keep you coming back. In collaboration with other global media brands,
Nollywood Broadcasting Service, France.
Nollywood Spotlight, USA.
Soulful Mind Media, USA.
Ojutole and Shoki Shombolo online magazines.
We will take you around the world in a matter of seconds. www.BackstageStory.tv.
Entertainment,
education,
information.
Always log on to www.BackstageStory.tv.
All right, this is still BLISS TALK, and you've been listening to Tonia Smart on BLISS TALK on the marital issue on Bliss Talk. Now, you have said something now that really caught my fancy. Women are moved by what they hear.
That's right.
Now, men are moved by what they see.
That's right.
Now, a time comes in a marriage that a woman gets so familiar with his husband and starts, not taking care of the way she looks anymore. And I think that makes a man to look elsewhere for beauty. What do you have to say about familiarity in marriage? We're still talking about love, support, and respect, but we need to talk about this issue because it falls under love. Because if you love someone, you will love that person when that person does what makes you happy.
That's right.
Right. Now, some women get so familiar and then they switch. Those things that you do when you were growing that makes your man to fancy you, I think you should still keep it up. Even in your old age, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But we are usually the beholder. The man is usually the beholder. The women are the hearers. So what do you have to say about that?
Well, Demola, the truth is that it takes two to tango.
Yeah.
You can't dance a duet as a solo. It's not possible. So just like men complain that women, they don't do the things that attracted them in the first place. So also I hear women say, the man doesn't love me. He doesn't do this to me. He doesn't do that to me. So the two need to play the game correctly. And that's why we need to speak to men and speak to women. And most times I try to do the counseling separate because what the men want to hear, I don't tell them. Because men want to hear, the women are bad and the women are this. And women want to hear that the men are bad. No. Now, for a woman, beauty at the initial stage should not be the attraction. If you're marrying a woman, yes, it's good to marry a woman that is beautiful. It's good to marry a man that is handsome. I have absolutely nothing against that. But you must be able to maintain the inner beauty. Okay. It's not the makeup, it's not the dressing, it's the inner beauty. And you must dress very well for yourself as a person first. Okay. And then for your spouse to look at you and compliment. And that's why I talk about appreciation. Even when a woman is beautifully dressed, and I tell my counselors as well, appreciate them. If you see your wife dressed gorgeously, oh my dear, you look fantastic. And if she's not dressed the other way, you could just say, I think that dress I bought, or the other dress you wore in pink and blue, I think that is more gorgeous, will suit this situation. And you can make her change and wear something that, is good. Okay. And the men also, they're not out of the blame. Because when you were caught saying, remember in the early days, oh, I love you, we go out, we have fun, we go and watch the movies, we go to the picnics, we go out for lunch or for dinner dates and all of that. And all of a sudden, you're too old to go for dinner. Your husband can call you and say, hey, guy, where are you going to? Okay, we're having lunch together. You see, because the complacency is on both sides. The men think that, well, I'm too busy now. I'm a big guy. How can I be going out with my wife to dinner? I mean, just the two of you, not that you're invited for a function. And women are like, that is what makes me happy. You go to the supermarket and buy her something nice, or you travel and buy her nice perfume, or, something she would really, really love. Okay. So it's the two parties are guilty. Because women, you need to look good. Men, you need to tell us we're looking good. And men, you need to treat us nice. And women, we need to appreciate it when they treat us nice as well.
So it takes two to tango.
It takes two. It takes two.
All right, this is still Bliss Talk, and I've been enjoying myself, and I believe you also have been enjoying yourself with Tonia on Bliss Talk. We've been talking about marriage. We've been talking about the keys to success in marriage. Now, let's go to respect. What is respect in the context of two people living together?
Respect is understanding each person's values. Because people have come to say respect is not in what you call your husband. Because some people say, well, I call my husband by name and I still respect him. Okay. And some school of thought say, well, I call my husband endearing words. I, as a person, for Tonia, I call my husband endearing words. Okay. And the recent one, I just want to make you laugh, Demola. I called my husband and a friend was with him and he calls me Omoge. And because they know who he is, okay, and says, who is Omoge? He said, I'm speaking to my wife. And then another time he was with another friend and I call and he says, sweet baby, and they're like, who is this baby? I said, that's my wife. And then I'm on the phone and I'm with my friends and I said, hi, guy. And I said, Tani guy. I said, the guy is the guy that is the only guy in my sugar in my tea. So you must make it interesting. Okay. And it doesn't say you don't respect the person. Because respect is actually something that a lot of people have said. Well, men say that, well, she talks to me anyhow, and so she doesn't respect me. If she doesn't respect you, find out what you're saying, because what you say is not as key as how you say it. Yeah. You might say the wrong thing the wrong way, and you may say the right thing the wrong way. So if respect is something that is mutual, I understand your views, I understand your ways, I understand you as a person. Okay. So there's a balance between how I now react to respecting you. Mm-hmm. So it's how they react that people tend to say, she doesn't respect me or he doesn't respect me. Why? Because you're not looking at the person's viewpoint, but you're looking at other viewpoints that are not in line with the person's ways or aspirations or thinking. So respect is something that is mutual, is a give and take. It's not something that you hammer into somebody's head or say, this is how it has to be done. No. Even if you want your husband to call you endearing words, you need to earn it. If you want your wife to be the all in all, you need to make her know it. So it's two ways to respect yourselves and respect your partner. The two parts of the relationship as well. All right.
Now, we talked in our opening episode, I talked about male chauvinism in this part of the world. Now, respect and then male chauvinism. Some people, these endearing words you talk about, I know a family that they don't, the husband, when the wife even calls him, they will say, hey, what do you want now? Because most of the time, women use those endearing words probably when they want to ask a favor. So the moment the man starts hearing those things, hey, what do you now want? You want to collect something, that's when you start saying this, just to make me swollen-headed. Now, in a male-dominated world, respect. Some people believe a woman has to kowtow, a woman has to be subjected to the low self-esteem for them to be able to say, okay, I'm the man in charge. How do we balance between male chauvinism and respect in marriage?
Like I always say, it's a man's world. But men should not say that because the woman is respecting them, then you put them down. And part of keeping the marriage is that you work at it. Okay. Just like in your working life, you go to work every morning, you wake up, whether it's rain out there, it's snow, it's sunny, you know you have a job to do. So also in marriage, you need to work at it to make it healthy, to make it, stay the test of time. Now, for people who are male chauvinists, if you go deeper into them, they're coming from a background where everything is Lord, Lord, Lord. Mm-hmm. There's total control. I have to be in control. The first place is who is questioning the control. So it's a tendency of they are not being, how do I say it? They're not being total in themselves. There's something missing somewhere. So they're trying to exercise authority. Okay. You already have the authority. That's why you said, I would marry you. And so you don't need to lord that authority. Okay. And your wife in submitting is understanding that authority. So submission in marriage is allowing your partner to understand you and to be able to carry you along. Because if the man is not carrying the woman along, at the end of the day, he's just going to see that he's authoritative and he's not getting the satisfaction that he wants. So yes, she'll be submissive. She'll just sit down. You say, come, she comes. Goes, she goes. For some men, it works and it's what they want. Fine, if it works for them, so be it. But again, you're seeing the trend is changing. And so when you want to put that pressure on a woman, yes, she wants to submit, but she also has her own individualism. And so you need to understand that first and foremost, she's a person before she's your wife. And she also has feelings, visions, and dreams. And that's why I said in the courtship, you need to understand where you're coming from and where you want to go. If you get it wrong at the start and think that I'm going to change him or I'm going to change her, then you already put that foundation on the wrong, footing. If you want to build a house in a sandy environment, a waterlogged environment, you're going to do what the engineers or the architects call a raft foundation. Why? Because the raft foundation is very, very heavy. But if I want to build a bungalow, I don't need to do a raft foundation. I don't need to do any hard concrete foundation. I just need a mini foundation to keep the ground going. But if I'm going to build a 10-story, then the foundation. So in the courtship, you need to agree a lot of things. And then is that agreement that you are now playing as you go along. So for a person to submit, you're submitting to that authority. You're submitting in love. And you're exercising your authority as a man in love. Not that you're lording it over. Because when you lord it over, the spouse or your wife will not want to feel that she's inferior to you. And that's when they begin to talk about women liberation and all of that, and equal rights and all of that. There is a level of understanding. I need to work at understanding your partner. You need to understand that your partner is there to help you. Your partner is there to complement you. But if you don't see that help and you don't see that compliment, that's when they now I want to exercise authority. Yes.
Oh my God, that is what I have to say, because Tonia has been downloading a lot of information into my head. And don't go anywhere. Make your marriage work. Make your marriage fun. Make your marriage exciting. Enjoy endless marital bliss. Let us help you rekindle the fire of love. Join me and Tonia Smart on BLISS TALK as we explore the secrets to endless marital bliss on BLISS TALK on the Backstage Story Show on your award-winning media channel, Nollywood Radio France, on Nollywood Broadcasting Service. BLISS TALK, reigniting the flame of love.
For an awesome entertainment and adventure.
Education erases ignorance.
Information is power.
Always log on www.BackstageStory.tv.
Get movie auditions.
Watch and listen to exclusive interviews and movies.
Get useful tips on health and other issues.
I am Patience Idoku.
I am Precious Iwuchukwu.
I am Millicent Aguya in Lagos, Nigeria.
And I am Demola Sonyaolu. Together, we will give you a memorable and wholesome experience to keep you coming back. In collaboration with other global media brands,
Nollywood Broadcasting Service, France.
Nollywood Spotlight, USA.
Soulful Mind Media, USA.
Ojutole and Shoki Shombolo online magazines.
We will take you around the world in a matter of seconds. www.BackstageStory.tv.
Entertainment,
education,
information.
Always log on to www.BackstageStory.tv.
This is still BLISS TALK, and I hope you've been enjoying yourself. Tonia has been very, 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 I don't know how to say. All right, we're still talking about the keys to a successful marriage, and we've been talking love, respect, and support. Now, I want to talk about entertainment. During courtship, a lot of women, we enjoy taking ladies out, cinemas, barbage, and fun spots. Now, the marriage is done. I have her. Those things shouldn't come on again. Why? Should it? Should those? I believe those form of entertainment and connection it allows the marriage ties to bond stronger.
That's right.
Now, what do you think we can do, despite the busy schedule, to rekindle that fire of bonding in entertainment?
Well, men, when I speak to them on this topic of bonding and reigniting the fire, they're like, look, girl, we are grown now. We're not 20, 30-year-olds that will be jumping up and down. Well, I said, well, then if you don't want to be jumping up and down, you can still do other things that are entertaining. You can stay at home. You can watch a film together. You can just even stay in the sitting room, there's this popcorn they have that is microwave popcorn. You make the microwave popcorn, get a big glass of wine, juice or whatever, and you sit in your sitting room or in your bedroom. If you have a private TV in your bedroom, watch a movie together. So you don't have to be on the beach all the time, but you create your bonding time. That's what I call it. The time where the two of you are just there, just laughing, just saying anything that is nothing, as long as you're enjoying each other's company, because it's the company in the courtship days and in the early marriage days that was keeping it. And with work pressures, traffic and all of that, carriers on the both sides, you need to make out time. You might be on a vacation, you might just decide, okay, we'll go on our holidays every year together, or we have special outings from time to time. And I always say one thing: in Nigeria, we're gifted. We just came out from a long 4 days holiday. You don't even have to travel, but in your house you can create time. Make something like pepper soup, make something different.
You're a good cook.
I'm a very good cook, Demola. I always tell my friends, and they're like, until we get to your skills. And I think I sent a picture to a friend, and I said, I made this just a normal dinner day, and we're not celebrating anything. And he says, oh, I'm sure maybe you took this picture in a restaurant. And so I said, well, you can come to my house, or I can bring the plates in my car, and then you can see that they're actually, my kitchen thing. Yes, because you must create that bonding time. You must make it as fun as possible. If you're into games, you could play Monopoly, you could play Ludo, you could play chess or cards, just something for just the two of you, just laughing and keeping your minds, because laughter lubricates the system. And that's why in the early courtship days, you were happy to be in each other's company, because why? You were laughing, you were having fun, even though there were things to worry about, there were things to care about, but you created that avenue for that laughter, and laughter keeps the spirit moving. So have more of that, even more as you even get into the 50s, the 60s, because then you now want to solidify your union, to say, yes, we understand each other and we appreciate one another. Yes.
All right, this is still Bliss Talk on the Backstage Story Show. I've been speaking with Tonia Smart, Dr. Mrs. Tonia Smart, the chemist and marriage counselor. She's an embodiment of a lot of skills, and she is also an insurance consultant. She's a good confidant, so you can actually call her after the program. You can call her at any time, and she will pick your call. She knows how to balance between the home and her business, so you won't be bothering her. The only thing is, don't call her during hot moments when she's enjoying with her husband. All right, and she's a good cook too, so you can invite her for cooking.
Yeah. Always happy to.
This is still Bliss Talk on the Backstage Story Show, and we've been talking about the keys to success in marriage. Love, support, respect. And we've also talked about trust, and we've talked about entertainment. Tonia, the bond, maintaining that strong love bond, it's key. What's a major thing to maintain that bond in the marriage?
You always have to keep making out time to care for each other, time to love each other, time to have happy moments, and constantly working, because like I said, marriage demands work. It's something you need to work out. It's not taken for granted, and sacrifices to be made, and times where you need to give up one thing or the other. So when the sacrifices have to be made, you need to understand why you're making them. And of course, like I said, there's a whole lot more, in keeping the relationship going. And we've looked at, a lot of others things. We can still look at the finance and caring, appreciation, and all of that. So it's something that you have to do on a constant basis. Because it's an engine, so you have to keep lubricating it with different varieties, different things, so that you keep moving and the engine doesn't pack up or knock as it is.
All right. This is still Bliss Talk, and remember, you can hook up with all our programs on NollywoodRadioFrance.com. You can also go to BackstageStory.blog.co.uk and listen in. And our partner in the US, Nollywood Spotlight, she will also the programs will also be on that site. So this is Bliss Talk, and I've been speaking with Tonia, Dr. Mrs. Tonia Smart. She is a very great and she has a database of knowledge that I cannot completely explore. While I keep asking, she keeps pouring them out, and it's exciting for me. All right, Tonia, let's have your number and your email address.
Well, Demola, out there they can reach me on email at tonia.smart at yorkcityltd.com, tonia.smart at yorkcityltd.com. And if you want to call to speak personally to me, you can reach me on 234-816-654-6231. 234-816-654-6231.
And you can also reach me on demola.sonyaolu@gmail.com or call me on 234-809-872-6926. That is 234-809-872-6926. This is Bliss Talk, and I've been enjoying this moment with Tonia Smart. Tonia, one last word for listening audience.
Well, I want to say this broadcast is a welcome decision. Demola, I'm very happy to be here because while we're sending knowledge out there to the public, we're helping people to ensure that the marriage stays intact and for them to enjoy marital bliss. And our counseling is not telling others your secrets, because your secrets are safe with any counselor that is worth his or her onions. And of course, the important thing is to find a solution to that problem where you are aching. So in conclusion, I would like to say you should love your partner, love yourself, and above all, love your creator.
Love your partner, love yourself, love your creator. My name is Demola Sonyaolu. You've been on Bliss Talk with me and Tonia. And on a regular note, I'll say, keep well, do well, and stay atop your game. Bye.